Hello, everyone. We're Team 7. I'm Sydney alongside my teammates, Stephen, Carly, and Advait. And we're going to be talking about Boeing today. So this is just a little look as to where we'll be going throughout this presentation. We'll kick it off by the issues currently faced by Boeing, then take a look into the future vision and mission statements, followed by the change initiatives and process to implement. And lastly, we'll talk about challenges that Boeing may face while implementing the changes. So starting off with the need for change here, Boeing is known for being the global leader of aerospace design, innovation, and manufacturing, among other things. Recently, though, they've become known for their 737 MAX jets and not in a positive light. There have been 2 fatal crashes and a series of other emergency safety landings in recent years. These major events have caught the attention of millions of people and, of course, the media, who have called into question the practices and operations of Boeing. Safety is a key aspect of this industry, especially in the passenger airline realm, and many speculate that it's not being prioritized by the firm. Boeing is now in a position where it's facing criticism and backlash from various stakeholders, which could cause irreparable damage to their reputation if not addressed quickly. So as the company currently stands, Boeing has a weak culture. The values are not clearly defined, and employees work under varying expectations depending on the part of the company they fall under. Company culture is the foundation of a firm, so it's up to management to proactively build one that's strong and guiding. However, recent press and whistleblowers are citing an increasingly toxic culture at Boeing, one that really only cares about successes and profit. When employees step up to voice concerns about safety practices or other general operations within the company, they're quickly silenced by upper management. This creates a significant misalignment between the company's supposed values of safety and accountability and their actual actions. Other misalignments are prevalent between the complicated communication system that's in place and their desire to demonstrate engineering excellence. So a firm's social evaluations hold a lot of weight within society and in consumers' minds, and it's a key role of leaders to manage them. In terms of legitimacy, Boeing's regulatory and moral legitimacy may not be up to standards. The reputation is being known as a top aerospace industry leader, yet their signal of quality and consistency is being questioned by the series of safety failures. Next, Boeing's status is high within the industry hierarchy and stands safe as of now, but it could fall in the long run if these issues are not addressed, since it serves as a proxy for quality when not easily observed. Lastly, Boeing faces the threat of stigmatization. The crashes and groundings have created event stigma, and in the long run, that could develop into some kind of labeling stigma. Looking at the CSR or stakeholder approach, Boeing is sacrificing key areas of their business in favor of shareholder primacy. This, combined with their weak culture, creates a significant need to change, which in the long run will enable the firm to regain a competitive advantage and stay a leader in the industry.
In moving on to the vision, mission, and values of the company, as a part of Boeing's change process, we revised their current mission and vision statements in order to create a more pointed future for the company as a whole. Our revised mission statement reads, "As we innovate and operate in the aerospace industry, each one of us takes personal responsibility for the safety, efficiency, and effectiveness for our teams and products to bring people closer together and make our world a better and more connected place." This mission statement furthers our support for our intent for Boeing to be existing for all of its stakeholders. Our vision statement for the future of Boeing is to be a leader of aerospace engineering excellence through integration and innovation with an emphasis on safety and transparency. This more pointed vision statement reflects Boeing's need for more than just a shared future. Boeing needs to focus on key areas of their business model and culture that will eventually create an environment that fosters growth and collaboration in key areas of innovation, safety, and transparency. In order to reflect these revised mission and vision statements, we have identified 4 new espoused values that will help bring Boeing into alignment. These values are transparency, accountability, integrity, and innovation beyond boundaries. With the value of transparency, this will allow for stakeholders and customers to see the company's doings, both the good and the bad, which will help eliminate the shareholder primacy. In the value of accountability, this will help create trust amongst the company by creating systems that run throughout its levels, which will help eliminate the toxic culture that runs rampant. With integrity, this will help build trust and support within the Boeing organization. And with innovation beyond boundaries, we hope that they will continue to push the boundaries of the aerospace industry by creating and improving at all times. As a whole, these new values emphasize Boeing's improved mission of taking personal responsibility in the aerospace industry as its biggest leader and pace setter. Boeing's shifted focus is to excellence in their field, and this is only achievable with an emphasis on improving these four areas.
So now we'll be talking about the changes, goals, and key steps that we propose and believe will help Boeing reclaim its stature as the industry leader. So one of the first things Boeing should focus on is regaining their stakeholders' trust and confidence. So over the next 5 to 7 years, Boeing should set an overarching goal of regaining its stakeholders' trust by setting a new standard of consistent engineering excellence in all of their products and showing accountability and transparency when defects or issues come up. In the next couple of years, Boeing should focus on changing their manufacturing process to follow an agile workflow across all departments and incorporate a more rigorous white box testing approach in their review process. And so by implementing agile, Boeing departments will easily be able to prioritize tasks and requirements, enhance collaboration across multiple teams, and have a common understanding of what work's been done and what work or issues need to be addressed. And with white box testing, Boeing engineers would actively be trying to break the system that they're testing to discover any issues, and this could potentially help in identifying problems that might be very unlikely to occur. And so Boeing should also focus on creating a more advanced full flight simulator or FFS for training and target FFS levels of C or D. And basically these levels are requirements that serve as a sort of guidance provided by the FAA to aircraft manufacturers, with level D being the most comparable to actual flight conditions. So Boeing should also set up an anonymous communications channel across the company and encourage employees to openly share any concerns they may have, since reports of internal emails showed that some concerns were getting overlooked. And also to promote transparency, Boeing should provide monthly check-ins to update all their relevant stakeholders regarding any significant changes or news. So for Boeing to successfully adapt and regain its stakeholders' trust, it should first have its HR and operations work together to secure funding for the agile training and R&D for the new flight simulator. They should also work on setting up the employee concerns channel and prepare drafts of the initial monthly newsletter. The next step would be set up training to begin the company-wide shift to an agile workflow process by first making the changes in small test groups and having a control group to compare the relative progress and effectiveness of the change. Similarly, for the flight simulator, Boeing should create a small test group to work on building either a level 4 or level 3 simulator and collaborate with third-party airline pilots to compare the differences in quality of training, performance evaluation, and cost between the new simulator and the current one. And so most of Boeing's employees will likely recognize the need and urgency of this change. But since this will likely be a transformative change of the organization, there will probably be some resistors to the change, either due to complacency or some other concerns. So it's really important to identify and effectively manage all potential resistors as soon as possible, as well as using the right approach to effectively manage a resistor given their type and origin. And so another area that Boeing should focus on is improving sustainability. So over the next 5 to 7 years, Boeing should reaffirm its commitment to sustainability through the development of eco-friendly innovations and the reduction of its carbon footprint. And so over the next few years, Boeing should target 15 to 25% improvements in fuel efficiency for each new generation aircraft they produce, and standardize additive printing, which is just basically 3D printing, across all of their departments to reduce wasted resources. Boeing should also aim to invest and work closely with sustainability projects and environmentally conscious suppliers to show their commitment to being eco-friendly and serving their communities. And so to successfully make the necessary changes to improve Boeing's sustainability, proponents of the Change Coalition should start by actively going and seeking key stakeholder support. But unlike the previous change proposed, some of Boeing's employees may not see or recognize this change as an urgency. So to alleviate this concern with the support of key stakeholders, proponents of the Change Coalition should stress to employees the future economic opportunities and favorable customer outlooks that are typically associated with firms actively engaging in sustainability practices. Boeing should then begin the rollout of standardizing additive printing by starting with 1 to 2 departments and then assessing R&D expenses and inventory levels to determine if the instituted change was consistently able to provide better results before making any further changes. And then Boeing should make greater use of their Eco Demonstrator program, which is basically their flight test research division, as well as leverage their supplier and operator partnerships to test out promising new innovations with the goal of at least 2 to 3 new innovations to test every quarter. And lastly, it may take some time to actually see the benefits from implementing the sustainability initiatives. So it's good to celebrate and build off successful victories, no matter how small. And it's also important to recognize and reward early supporters of the change initiative, because it helps increase employee engagement and performance and shows other employees that Boeing values them and their contributions to the change effort.
Next, we'll discuss some potential challenges Boeing may encounter and some solutions to these problems. Now, it's difficult to predict exactly what challenges may occur at Boeing, but there are 3 challenges that Boeing should prepare for. The first and maybe largest challenge that Boeing may deal with is shareholder resistance. Many of Boeing's shareholders include short-term institutional investors in the form of hedge funds and asset managers. Many of these investors have been known to put pressure on boards and executives to make decisions that only affect the bottom line. While we believe that these changes help all of Boeing's stakeholders in the long term, some may not feel similarly. A second challenge could be hesitancy about the viability of sustainability and safety efforts. Employees and managers may question whether these goals can realistically be achieved. They may also wonder whether this change truly helps these efforts. A third challenge could be a lack of urgency. Boeing enjoys a high status in the aerospace industry, and employees could feel comfortable with the current situation. Complacency could lead employees to actively resist change or sabotage efforts. So in order to address all three challenges, Boeing needs to educate and communicate with its employees and shareholders. Employees may rightly be hesitant about the changes. Boeing needs to clearly lay out the goals through holding workshops and town halls to collaborate with its employees and managers. It also needs to hear concerns from the shareholders so they can address their problems with each change. Boeing needs to build a guiding coalition early. Since this is a change that encompasses all of Boeing, the CEO will need to be part of the team. The rest of the coalition, there is more leeway, but there needs to be individuals with influence, leadership skills, and expertise in the area of sustainability and safety. These coalitions can help win over employees who may be more resistant to the change. The final way to address challenges would be to align rewards with the change. In order to create a sense of urgency, Boeing needs to tie bonus structure to how well a department follows through with its goals. We believe that through addressing safety and sustainability, Boeing can regain the public's trust and prepare itself for the future. With these changes, Boeing will become a more effective and efficient organization while holding itself accountable to all stakeholders. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we look forward to answering your questions.